Jess Brigner and I, we're cross-line, but we're such good friends, and we do our team calls together. So you're getting Team One and Team Dreamers in action. And we always start with recognition. So you guys, I want you all to put your freaking hands together for Michelle Stanton, brand new Crystal Director, absolutely amazing. Lisa Wilson, brand new Crystal Manager. And Evan Hernandez, a brand new manager. And let's talk about some top enrollers here. Joanna Self, 10 enrollments. Michelle Stanton, 9 enrollments. Nikki Rempel, 8 enrollments. Ann White, 4 enrollments. Erica Rothenberger, Alicia Snyder, Felicia Defreen, and Brandy Brokaw, Michelle Hammond, Jen Van Den Elzen, and Billy White, all 3 enrollments. You guys, team win. You are freaking amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. Dreamers in action, we have a brand new Crystal Director, Kristen Harina. Absolutely amazing job. We have a brand new 5-cycle bonus. New consultants, Daniel Harina, Laura Oshiang, Jamie Worth, Susan Celestely, Mike Penn, Stephanie Griesenar, and Stephanie Bishop. You guys, top enrollers, Susan Celestely, Kristen Harina, Laura Laurie, Kathy Durnick, Diana Schwinghammer, Misty Little, Isabel Brown, Stephanie Greisener, Stephanie Bishop, Emily Stiles, Laura Hoshiang, Cindy Betrati, Ashley Davis, Rachel Mayer, Dan Harina, Tina Burns, Michelle Mitchell, Keisa Maxwell, Jenny Thompson, Jennifer Kopp, Monica Marie, and Sheila Sands. You guys, absolutely amazing. We are so proud of you. And I'm telling you, whether you're excited for Cabo, and we've got a couple months left for that, you're ready for Cancun, we've got a couple weeks for that, you are just on absolute fire with what we do. We are so proud and absolutely so excited. So I want to introduce Sid to you, and I'm going to read her bio because I want you guys to realize what a badass she is. But then I want to tell you just a fun story because I want to always make our guest speakers personable. But Sid is a 3-star Golden Circle, 3-star Crystal Executive. She's a part of Start 1000, which is the younger group in Isagenix, ages 18 to 35. They're 6-figure income earners. She's the #1 income earner in Start under the age of 25. You guys, look at how amazing she is. Do you not only wish that you knew about this in your early 20s? Sydney was introduced to Isagenix at the age of 22 as a college student. She had intentions of becoming a high school PE teacher and instead dove headfirst into Isagenix after seeing the financial opportunity that was available. She's made multiple 6 figures within this company and has a vision to impact hundreds of thousands of lives and a legacy for her future family. So you guys, I will tell you, Sid has some of the most amazing before and after pictures, okay? Like if you've never seen her, go to her Instagram right now, go to her Facebook, not only with her physical transformation, but with her skin. So before the collagen with our nutritional cleansing, she has one of the most profound before and after pictures I've ever seen, with like adult acne to glowing glam skin. And everybody shared this picture. People were like, who is this? Who is this girl? Like, are you sure she's an Isagenix? And then I saw her share her story at an Isagenix University. I was like, oh my gosh, that's the girl with the skin pictures. And a couple months later, she came out to stage and with this bomb yellow banging dress. And I was like in awe listening to her training. And I just thought, there's so much wisdom here. There is so much grit. There's so much fun. She's so relatable, but her work ethic is unparalleled. She's so poised, she's so eloquent, but like literally just this silly goofball that will laugh at herself, like at all of the things that she's done to kind of get to this point. So she was just in Denver. She was one of our guest speakers for Super Saturday. And I was like literally blown away with her presentation. I wanted to record the whole thing. And I said, I have to get you on the team call. So I get to shut up now. Sydney, I would love for you, even before we get into the presentation, for you to unmute and just tell your story, because I think it's always great for people to really relate and know who they're learning from.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I could just run a marathon after that intro. I'm like, I am so fired up. Okay. First of all, I love you so much, Lauren. You always say like my work ethic is unparalleled, but you're literally the hardest worker I know. So, and one of the sweetest souls. But you guys, I'm so honored to be here. And I'm like a little intimidated. There's 71 people on this call. And Lauren, are we going 30 or 60 minutes? I'm assuming 35, 40?
Typically 30, 45, no longer than an hour, but I don't want to rush you, but you can do 30-ish is great.
Cool. All right. So I'll get straight into it. I got started with Isagenix, just like Lauren said, at 22 years old, which now I look at, I'm like, oh my God, I was such a baby. And when I got started, I was actually a professional bodybuilder at the time. I was working 3 different jobs and I was going to school over the maximum limit of credits in college. So I was a hustler at heart from a very, very, very young age. And at this time, my health was exhausted. My energy was exhausted. I was so tired. And I remember the woman that actually brought me into Isagenix. She's not even around anymore, right? So if your upline quit, I don't care. No excuses. Okay. So the woman who got me started, I met her on social media. She actually hired me to be her online health coach. She was like, I use this product called Isagenix, but I want to do macros. I want a booty like you. I was like, cool. I don't really care about Isagenix, but I'll coach you. You can use whatever products you want. I worked with her for a while and she was like, I see how tired you are. I see how bad your skin is. Let's be real. And I know what you're experiencing. And what I can tell you is that in 5 years, you can either be a slave to your computer and your laptop and your work like you are right now, or you can be sitting on a beach in Mexico with me. And I was like, okay, wait, what? And that made me listen. And I saw what was available with this company. I saw what was available with network marketing. I saw what was available with the products. I put the products on my body. I lost 45 pounds. My skin, you guys, if you have not looked at my transformation, go to my Instagram, like Lauren said. It is insane to see the difference in my skin. Like, I barely have any makeup on my skin right now. And I'm so proud of my skin because of collagen, because of the products. I put the products in my body. At the time, I invested into Isagenix with $50 left in my bank account, and I was about to fly across the country on a one-way, non-refundable ticket from Montana to San Diego to move. I had no plans for a job. I had no plans of where I was going to sleep that night. I had 2 pieces of luggage, one with my clothes, one with my Isagenix products that I hadn't even cracked open, and I didn't for the first month. Okay. I called the woman who got me enrolled. I was like, hey, I'll take you to dinner. I have $50 left in my account. I slept on her couch for the next 2 years. I moved in with my sponsor that night, and I told her, I was like, I will literally be your best student if you show me what to do. I went to my first event. I put it all on a credit card. I bought $20 shoes. It made my feet bleed. And I remember the opening scene of 2017 celebration. If you were there, you remember it. Jimmy Smith and Emily Vavra, the youngest and oldest millionaire, came on stage, and I was like, that's going to be me. I'm going to be one of the youngest millionaires in this company. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to do it. I want to be top 10 and start. And I told everyone that vision for my first 3 years. I told every single person that vision for my first 3 years of building this business. And it's soon to be Isagenix millionaire. It hasn't happened yet, but I did reach the top whatever and start, which was a huge goal of mine. But my biggest passion is this. Like, this is my zone of genius. This is where I love spending my time, is educating people. 4.5 years later, 4 years later, I've traveled the world on behalf of Isagenix for the trips that, we've won as a team, but I've also traveled across the world, lived in Bali this year. I've been on a plane every 3 or 4 days because of the financial, freedom that I've created with Isagenix. I've been able to speak on stages. I've been able to impact 6,000 lives. It's been amazing. And I couldn't be more grateful to be here tonight. So yeah, that's my story. Lauren, are you wanting me to just jump into training, or like, you cool?
Yeah, totally. I'm going to make you the host. You can do the share the screen.
Perfect. Yes. Oh my gosh. Bali, baby. I love this. Thank you guys. All right. I am going to share also. I told Lauren this, and I'm just going to tell you guys and be real transparent. I'm awful at graphic stuff. So I made these slides. They're terrible, but I just don't care because it's about the delivery of the information. Okay. So we're going to be talking tonight about connecting and prospecting. How many of you guys get a little bit of anxiety when I bring up connecting and prospecting? Any of you? I know I did. When I first got started, I was very shy. I didn't like talking to people. I didn't like getting out of my comfort zone and having conversations. I know it's hard to believe now, but connecting and prospecting was like the bane of my existence. And when I got started, I didn't have much influence. So what I realized very quickly is that when I posted on social media, or when I talked to someone about Isagenix the first time, people weren't like coming up to me being like, I want to be a part of Isagenix. This is something I want to do. I didn't have that. And so I really realized very quickly that I had to go out and be proactive in my business. I really had to go out and talk to people. And how many of you guys feel that? You posted on social media and you're like, no one came up to me and wanted to get started. That was me in the beginning. I talked to 40 plus people on phone calls before my first 2 people got started. And so I realized very quickly, after enrolling about 450 people in the last few years, and maybe 2% of those people coming to me saying, I want to get started with Isagenix, I realized 2 things. I realized that, oh God, sorry, here we go. Number 1, it's a numbers game. People are not numbers, but this is a numbers game. It 100% has nothing to do with who you know right now. It has to do with who you're going to meet and how much effort you're willing to put in to conversations. And I know Lauren, Jessica, Erica, any of the top leaders on this call will relate to me when I say that they are out being proactive every single day in their business. I know that I get a text from Erica on my birthday every year, literally 4 a.m. And I'm like, this girl is up and running. She is being proactive. Even if I'm not a prospect of hers, I know she's up every morning being proactive in her business. So 2 things you have to know when you're connecting and prospecting with ease with people is it's a numbers game. You have to increase the amount of people you're talking to. Because out of those 400 people that I have brought in, which is really cool, right? It's great, awesome. I had to talk to about 4,000 to 5,000 people, which means I got 3,000 plus no's. So it's a numbers game. Not everyone's going to say yes. Don't give up when you have your first 100 no's, and really set an assessment in your brain of like, how many no's am I actually realistically willing to get? And I asked myself that question when I got started, like, how many no's am I willing to get if it meant that in the next 10 years I make $1 million? And when I set that realistic expectation for myself of like, there's not enough no's in the world for me, I'll go through every last freaking person I have to. That's when it got really real for me that I was committed to creating results in my business. And number 2 is obviously being proactive. It's very important to be proactive. If you're reactive in your business, if you're just sitting back and you're waiting for other people to join your business, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. You have to go out and be proactive in your business. And so I like to relate prospecting and connecting, whatever you want to call it. I really think it's the same thing because we're just solving a problem for the people in our lives that we're connected to, right? It's like dating. How many of you guys have been on a date? A lot of you are probably married on this call, so I'm hoping you've been on a date or you've dated someone in your life. I'm young. I told Zach I wouldn't date until I was 26 or until I was an Isagenix millionaire. So we haven't been on a lot of dates, but I always say it's like work. You cannot expect to get results in your dating life or in your marriage. We'll just say marriage here, if you're not willing to put in work, right? If you're not willing to put in work in connecting with people out in the world and being proactive, and you always want to put your hoodie on the planes, and you don't want to talk to anybody in the elevator, and you don't want to talk to anybody at the grocery store, and you don't want to do this and you don't want to do that, it's just not going to work. It's like putting a profile up on Bumble or a dating app or whatever people do now and just never going on the app. You got to put in the work. You got to get in the reps, right? You also have to learn about people, right? You can't just expect to go on a date with someone, sit there and expect them to only care about you. You have to ask questions. You have to be interested versus interesting. If you're interested in other people versus interesting about yourself and all the things you've done, your dating life is going to be a lot better. I remember going on a date when I was younger and I was like, I'm going to be an Isagenix millionaire and I'm amazing. Blah, 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 blah. Never got a second call, right? You're just not going to hear back from people if you're only interesting and you're not interested in other people. Finding commonalities is also important. So asking questions. A mentor of mine, Dr. Paul Anderson, he actually created the joint support and the Isodelight. If you haven't tried those products, highly recommend. But Dr. Paul once told me, he said, you have to be genuinely curious in people. And if you have genuine curiosity, this business is going to become a lot simpler for you. So I really recommend in this process of connecting and prospecting, be interested versus interesting and genuinely connect and be curious about people's lives, not from what you can gain from them from a financial standpoint, but in the genuine interest of learning about them to see if you do have a solution. And if you don't, you're going to meet some really great people along the way. And when I decided to do that, instead of being my red type personality that wants to win and crush it and kill it all the time, it actually helped me be less needy and put out less of an awful energy of like needing people to join my business, right? Other thing, no verbal vomiting. When I got started in network marketing, I look back at some of my messages and I was like, I sent books. Like I was going to put examples on this screen, but it would have taken up too much of the like screen because there was so much scrolling that happened in those messages of like, this has, XYZ whey protein and collagen peptides and ionic supreme, ashwagandha. I don't even know. I explained everything to people when they asked me about Isagenix. So I really recommend not giving it all away on the first date is what I like to call it. If someone's curious about Isagenix, if you're prospecting someone and they're interested in learning more, don't give it all away on the first date. No one wants to date somebody like that, right? No one wants to do business with someone who you can feel the energy of them just needing you or wanting to tell you everything, right? So treat this like you're dating, be a little coy. If you're a woman, you know how this game goes. You gotta be a little coy, you gotta make him chase you. If you're a man on this call, it's all cool. Make them chase you a little bit. Put a little bit out there, but not too much. Okay, so the who do I talk to when I'm connecting and prospecting? First things first, you have to have clarity. If you're talking to everyone, and this is social media or offline, if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to no one. So you got to have clarity on who you're wanting to attract. And by this, I don't mean that they have to be blonde and they have to wear green dresses and yellow dresses and they have to be tan and they have to be beautiful with great skin. No, it's psychographics versus demographics, right? It's psychographics. What motivates them? Why do they work so hard? What are they struggling with? Those are the kinds of things you want clarity on. Because again, I'm not necessarily going out every day like, I want to work with single moms who work a full-time job. That's not who I am. That's not where I'm putting my energy. For you, that might be. So get really clear on who you want to attract. And the thing I'll say is when people say they don't have anyone to talk to, it's just BS. This is 2021. We have Instagram, we have Facebook, and we have your contacts list. When we say to go make a list, this is your list. You already have an entire Rolodex, an entire database that's created for you already. And it's about not prejudging those people. So when you're looking at who do I want to talk to, or maybe you've been around for a while and you're like, I've already talked to everyone, go through your contacts, go through your Instagram and who you follow and who follows you, go through your Facebook. I can guarantee you have not talked to everyone. I can guarantee you have not talked to everyone in your network. So it's about getting resourceful and also meeting new people, right? Connecting and prospecting. All right. So a lot of people are like, great, I have people to talk to. When do I bring up Isagenix? Because it feels like there's never a good time to bring up Isagenix, right? How many of you guys are like beating around the bush, asking that really rock star person that could blow up everything in your business? You're waiting to ask them because the timing's just not right. I know I even have people like that. They're, people call it their chicken list, but Casey Tom calls it the leader list. Who's on your leader list that you're scared to reach out to, that you just feel like there's no right time? The only thing you really have to know before you bring up Isagenix to people is you have to know a little bit about them. So you have to know a tiny bit about them. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to know their life story. But if you're asking people questions and you're interested in them when you first meet them, instead of worrying about what you want to say and what you want to talk about, this becomes a lot easier. So once you meet someone, you know a little bit about them, you know some of their pain points, you've asked some questions, it's always the perfect timing to bring up Isagenix. I'll tell you, there's never a perfect time, because you'll beat around the bush and you'll beat around the bush, and then you'll be in this like connection zone for 5 years, and then you never ask them to take a look. So just, I'm gonna say, sack up a little bit. And if they're on your list that scares you, reach out to them tomorrow, because I guarantee they have a pain point that they've expressed to you. If they have skin, hair, and nails, if they eat food, if they need money, which every human being I know does, this is something that could be for them. And if you're genuine in that and you know any problems that they have, because let me say this, everyone complains. There's Isagenix, we're not used to it as much because we're not a culture of complainers. But everyone out there that hasn't been introduced to Isagenix yet, most likely they complain about something when you talk to them if you're asking them questions. And that's where you can fill in Isagenix. Okay, so it's always the perfect time. You just have to be the initiator to bring it up. All right, so what the heck do I say? The what of connecting and prospecting. Also, I'm gonna make this smaller so I can see it. Oh, I can't even see my mouse. Okay, so what the heck do I say? First of all, you wanna add value, okay? You wanna add value to people. And again, this is the curiosity thing. Instead of talking all about you and the amazing product that you have, you want to add value to people's life. So if Erica's pain point is that she has really low energy, it might be like, hey, Erica, I know you mentioned to me last week that you've really been struggling with low mom energy. I can't totally relate to you. I'm not a mom, but I've worked with so many moms that are just like you, that have they've benefited so much from our products. I'd love to share more with you. It's so simple. So again, finding things you can relate to. I pretty much said all of this already, but you guys can read that for yourself. And again, if you go out into the world every single day asking questions, providing value, solving problems for people versus projecting your opinions and agendas about Isagenix, your business is going to grow. And I tell my team this all the time. I'm like, instead of you going out and being like, who am I going to talk about Isagenix with today? Yes, have that intention. But instead, if you shift that intention, how many of you guys are reds? Just go like this. If you're a red, if you know the color code test, you're motivated by success and winning and money and da da da. That's me. Especially if you're a red, I'm talking to you. If you're a blue, you get this a little more. If you're a white, you get it a little more. If you're yellow, you're just having fun, right? But if you're a red, if you go out in the world instead of this win at all costs energy, if you're like, all right, how can I just put that in the little case for a day? And how can I just focus on providing value and asking questions and being interested in people? I'll tell you from a red perspective, it's actually kind of fun. And you actually learn a lot more about people and it'll pay you dividends. So go out in the world every day looking to solve problems and share your story when it comes, when you want to bring it up, and when someone has a problem you can create a solution for with Isagenix. But if you go out in the world every day looking to solve problems, your business is going to grow. All right, so in-person connection. Love this. I'll give you guys some examples, but I like to keep it really simple. And I think the biggest issue with this industry is that we go to work to overcomplicate it so much, when if we just kept it simple, life would be so much easier and we would all be way more successful. So keep it really, really simple with in-person connecting. Don't jump on the fact that they're, a rock star, they look like Kelly Dickerhoof and you're sitting next to him on an airplane, right? Don't jump at that fact, but connect with that person. So always have your prospecting hat on. Always be looking for different people out in the world. Always be looking to connect. All right. I think it's ABC. Always be looking to connect, right? ABC. Always be connecting. All right. So compliment them. Biggest thing you can do, compliment someone genuinely. It's a genuine compliment. So if I'm looking at Roxanne, I'm gonna be like, your hair looks so amazing. Like, what do you use for your hair? And I compliment people, genuinely connect, genuinely compliment. I'll do this at the airport. I'll do this at the grocery store. I'll do this at Chick-fil-A. I'll do this wherever I am. I don't care where I am. I will compliment anyone, anywhere, because I'm a big believer in putting that good energy out in the world. And you'll be so surprised what a simple compliment does. If you have a really hard time connecting with people in real life, try a compliment. And then what I do after that is I go into what's called form. How many of you guys know what form is? Anybody? Form. It's a really simple acronym that I use with every person. And this is online or offline, but really offline. So let's say I meet Roxanne at the grocery store and I'm like, your jacket is amazing. Where'd you get it? And she's like, oh, I got it here. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Where are you from around here? Where are you from? F is where are you from? Okay, so you ask, where are you from, Roxanne? And she's like, oh, I'm from, just down the street. Me and my husband have lived there our whole lives. That's so great. What do you do? Do you work around this area? Occupation is O. So where are you from? What's your occupation? Third thing is recreation. So, you said you live right around the area. I'm actually visiting. I'm in town. I'm traveling all the time. What do you guys do for fun around here? Ask what she does for fun, right? You're getting a sense of some of her pain points potentially, where she's been living, what she does. You can elaborate on a lot of these questions. And then the last thing is M for motivation. So with a lot of women that I meet, I'm like, why do you work so hard? What are you doing that has you working so hard? And a lot of them have other responsibilities, obligations, duties that they have to provide for. And that gives me a really good sense of who that person is if I go through those 4 questions. So compliment them. Where are you from? What do you do? What do you do for fun? And what motivates you? Why do you work so hard? And just doing that, it'll change your life. I do that with women and men all the time. And then what I love to do is if I'm in person, I don't like to take too long on that. It takes quick 15, 20, 30 seconds. Then I love to move it online. And I'll use Roxanne just because I see her face and she's beautiful. I'll go to Roxanne and I'll say, Roxanne, I know this is so random. I know I'm checking out right now. I got to run. I actually have a meeting. I always have a meeting. I got to run. I have a meeting, but I would really love to connect with you on social media. I just love connecting with people in cities so that if I ever visit, I know who to message to get some ideas of what to do around here. And I always connect on social media. So I grab my phone and I have her type in her name and I'm like, here, type in your name to my Instagram. And then she types it in, I follow her and I immediately screenshot it and I put it away. Because if I don't screenshot it, I will forget. So I get it online. Because the really cool thing about moving it to online is that all of your social media, all of your marketing that you guys work so hard for, it does its job. Your social media isn't necessarily to be your number one marketer unless you're meeting someone offline. They can go online and Roxanne's going to be like, what does this girl do? She's all over the world. What is she doing? Right? So that's where your marketing is really going to pay off, because they're going to fall in love with your personality in real life. And then they're going to see you online doing these amazing things, hitting these ranks, helping people go to Mexico, traveling all over the world, speaking on stages, whatever you're doing. Right? And they're going to get really excited. And usually that does most of the work as far as introducing what you do. So that's where online marketing is very important. How's this for in-person connecting? I know a lot of you guys are pissed at me right now because you're like, wow, that's really easy. I don't think it's going to work, but it does. Okay. So online connecting, it's the same thing, but different. It's the same thing, but different. Online connecting is getting a little more creative. And so when I feel like, and I only know this because she's talked about it at events before and I learned so much from her, but Erica is such a master at this, of interacting with people and getting really creative online. And so what I've learned from Erica is go to people's pages, learn a little bit about them, see what they're up to, right? As you're connecting with people, and then going to message them and giving them, again, a very genuine compliment, having good energy, right? This is all about who you're being. Zach Slobin, how many of you guys know Zach? He always used to tell me when I lived with him in Eden, it made me so mad. He's like, Sydney, this business has everything to do with who you're being and almost nothing to do with what you're saying. And I would get so mad because I'm like, but I'm good at saying stuff, but I'm not being cool. I'm not being a person that people want to join in business. So when I started to shift that and change to be the type of person that people are attracted to being around, to the type of person who has an energy that's awesome, that's when my business started to grow, not based on what I was saying. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to go through complimenting people. You're going to reach out. Hey, Erica, I saw you and your kiddos running around at the park down the street. Like, I know that's really creepy, but I wanted to reach out and just say, hey, if you ever want to do a play date, I'm around, right? I don't have kids, but I'm just making it up. It's easy. Compliment them, go through, where do you guys live? What area of town? What do you do for work? I see you're doing XYZ, right? Wow, that's so cool. Why are you working so hard? Oh, I love that. Tell me more. It's just getting information, being interested in them. And then what I love to do instead of jumping at isogenics, especially online, is leave it and revisit it. So instead of you jumping down their throats and being like, I have the most amazing collagen elixir and you need to take it. And I know we just started talking 5 minutes ago and I know nothing about you. Instead, I love to revisit that person and just say, hey, I really enjoyed, connecting with you. I see we're in the same city. Let's try and get coffee in the next few weeks. Let me know your schedule. Have a great day. And I just do that dating thing where you lean back a little bit and you let them come towards you. Right? So leave it. And then once you can, revisit it. So 24 hours, 48 hours, a week, I don't know. There's no right answer, but go back to them. And I'm going to give you a little script of what you can say. But move it offline if you can. Get them onto a call. And again, you're in the invitation to the destination where they can get the information. You're not the information. Again, no verbal vomiting. Something like this will do just fine. So you guys can screenshot this. This is what I use probably 5 to 10 times a day. Hey, Erica, I know this is really forward, but I loved chatting with you the other day. And I know you would be so amazing at what I do. I thought of you because you're working so hard in your corporate America job. And you seemed really tired. Right when I talk to you, whatever it may be, it can be a compliment that's like not a compliment, but also like kind of like not good. Right? Just be honest with people. I found that I make way more money when I'm just honest with people. Okay. I would love to connect with you. I'd love to hear more about your story, share what I do, and see if it excites you in any way. Would Tuesday at 5 or Wednesday at 9 a.m. work best for your schedule? I always say to assume the call. Never assume people don't want to get on a call with you. Always assume people want to get on a call with you, and at the very least connect. And you can give them that out. Like, if not, no worries, but I just really want to share what I do and hear more about your story. At the very least, we'll be friends. Super easy, super simple, and move it offline. It's almost like if you're offline and you're meeting someone, bring it online so they can see all your stuff. If it's online and they've already seen all your stuff, move it offline. So it's always moving it to the opposite of where you are. And when I do that, it creates a good flow when I'm meeting people. And then this is a beauty pro ask because I know there's so many people who are reaching out. How many of you guys are prospecting beauty professionals? Okay, few of you. I know that for me, it's like a really exciting thing right now. And it's the same kind of reach out. So you guys can use this, screenshot this. Hope you're doing well. You came to my mind when I was talking to a good friend, Ashton, right? If this is someone I just connected with online a few weeks ago and maybe trying to book an appointment. I actually did this with the gal Nina today, who's going to do a facial on me. I messaged her. I was like, hey, I hope you're doing really well, Nina. You came to my mind. I was talking to a good friend. She was telling me how she helps salons launch significant revenue streams with basically no overhead with the first to market collagen elixir product. I've been taking it too and loving it for the last 9 months. It sounded like something that could really help you. And I just had to introduce, if I introduced you to her, you guys can read this. It may or may not be for you, but if I put us in a 3-way group chat, would you be open to that? Something along those lines. It doesn't have to be perfect, but get the point across, be genuine, and don't leave it out all on the table for them. And what I'm gonna look at the time here. Okay. The biggest thing that I train in my team, I train at events, is literally none of this matters without your belief being high. And so you can say all the right things, you can connect with all the people you want, but if your energy is not there and your belief isn't there, it's not going to matter. It just isn't going to matter. And Herb Cepeda always says enthusiasm beats everything. Enthusiasm trumps everything. If I came on here and I was just like low energy and I had a monotone voice and I wasn't excited, you guys would leave and be like, wow, that was really a waste of my time. Like, what is Lauren doing getting this chick on here? Right? So your enthusiasm, your mindset, your belief in these areas is what I want you guys to work on. Okay, because if you can work on, and it doesn't have to be a 10 out of 10 in all of these right now. You can rate yourself. Do this activity on your own. Product, leadership, comp plan, isogenics, network marketing, and yourself. Write those down on a sheet of paper and rate yourself out of a 10. Where are you at right now if you were being totally transparent with yourself? And a lot of people, you can type it in the chat what your lowest one is. Most people, the big hangups are network marketing, the industry, right? And yourself. That's usually the two things we got to work on. And so look at different areas. Ask Lauren, ask Jessica, ask them, what can I do to increase my belief in myself? What can I do to increase my belief in network marketing? Because what I will say is if you are not a 10 out of 10 belief yet, you're a 5 out of 10 belief, but you can move it up to a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10, that's going to make a significant difference. And it might take a little bit of, I hate the word, the term fake it till you make it, but it takes a little bit of that. It really, really does. It takes false confidence to create confidence. For me, 5 years ago, I was zero confidence. I was not good energy and it was just not good. But I acted as if. I was like, what would the best version of myself do right now? How would the best version of Sydney act? How would, if Sydney believed 10 out of 10 in herself or in isogenics or network marketing or comp plan or leadership or the products, what would she do instead of how I feel like being right now? Because I want to ask you a question, and you can ask yourself this: how many of you would feel confident enough to go up and recruit a person like Lauren? How many of you would feel confident enough to go up and recruit a person like Jessica? And if you feel like that scares the crap out of you, then your belief isn't a 10 out of 10. It's not a 10 out of 10 in every area. Because when you can have a belief, I really believe if you can go to the person that you look up to the most in this company and you feel like you could 10 out of 10 go up to that person and you would prospect the crap out of them, that's when your belief is 10 out of 10. Like, I know if I saw Zach and Eden, they're like my homies, but if I saw Zach and Eden somewhere, I honestly don't know if I would have the guts to go up and recruit them. And that means that I'm still not a 10 out of 10 belief for reals. And I really believe my belief is extremely high in every aspect. But I'm a big believer that like there's always room for improvement. So rate yourself and know there's not a final destination. You can make hundreds of thousands of dollars, potentially, maybe even millions with a no 10 out of 10 belief. You can probably make it with like a 5 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10 belief. But you've got to start embodying the type of person you'd also want to recruit. So if I saw myself in a coffee shop, would I want to recruit me? Right? There's like two questions. Would you be able to recruit like a top leader in this company and be so confident in that ability? And if not, there's some room for improvement there. And if you walked into a coffee shop, would you want to recruit you? And if you don't want to recruit you, why would anybody want to join you? So every single day we get to re-enroll ourselves into who we get to become and the type of person we get to be to attract the people into our life that we want to attract. Because if we're attracting all these low vibe losers, then we're probably being kind of a low vibe loser. We attract who we are. And so we get to go out into the world and it's voodoo and it's whatever. But if we have better energy than we did the day before, it's going to make a difference in the people that come into our sphere, the people that we meet. And it's a really good reflection of where we're at. And it allows us to take ownership for what we're doing and who we're attracting into our lives. So the biggest thing I would recommend for all of you in connecting and prospecting is to focus every single day on who am I being? How am I acting out in the world? Who's coming into my circle? And would I recruit me? Would I recruit me? I don't know if I have any other. Oh, shoot. Okay, you guys can see this. The last thing with connecting is the why. And it goes along perfectly with your belief, but you have to understand why. You have to understand at the end of the day why you're doing this. Why would you even want? Here's the deal. I don't enjoy necessarily going out and having a goal of talking to 10 new people every single day. I love being by myself. But for me, what's worth it is freedom. What's worth it for me is creating a life that my future family, my future children, my future husband, whoever that may be, we can live the life that we want. And for me, it is so worth it to know that on the other side of these conversations, on the other side of me looking stupid and getting no's and getting ignored and getting ghosted and getting restraining orders against me, whatever it may be, it's worth it for me. So find out whatever it is that's worth it for you to get over whatever fear or whatever insecurity you have with connecting and prospecting, and put that why in the forefront of everything you do. And if you can do that and you can identify what that is, it's going to keep you going when you get 3,600 no's, when you get 4,000 no's, it's going to keep you in the game. So that's what I have for you guys. I hope this was super valuable. I want to see the chat. It drives me nuts when I can't see the chat. Oh, I love all your smiling faces. Hey, Holly and Joel, what's up? Hey, Anne. This is so great. Okay. If you guys have any questions, drop it in the chat. But other than that, I am complete.
I will just say, you guys do type them in there real quick because she will answer them. But you're amazing. We have a couple message threads and they're like, oh my God, she's amazing. And like, I didn't know she lived with Zach and Eden, like part of your story and who you are. But I just want to applaud you. And I know Jessica would say the same. We kind of alternate who hosts each week. So that's why I'm the one kind of interviewing you. We've seen your growth. Like we've seen you come in, and everything that you were just saying at the end is such a testament of your hard work. I mean, you were ignorance on fire and you didn't always sound this way, but you've done the do. And not only are you completely coachable by some of the best mentors. I mean, that's like, you know, we see people show up in this business and they're like, it's so hard and it's not happening. And I'm like, are you coachable? And you do everything Zach and Eden had ever told you and still do. And outside of them, you plug into top trainers and Isogenics. And this part that you're talking about being the person you want to attract, like I saw you kind of come out of the gate and then get frustrated and went to work on yourself to learn another skill set. And I think that happens. You'll have like initial success and they have some trust in enrollments. And then it's like, wait, what happened? And everything that you're just talking about right now about being the person who you want to attract, in that part that you said, the psycho demographics instead of like the regular demographics, I've never even heard that term, you know, but it's so true on that work ethic and listening to them. And when you're saying here, and I want to just like reiterate it because it's so true, that you're like, do I really want to sit down and message 10 people? I mean, I get that. And Jessica would probably say the same. I mean, we love to prospect, but we love to prospect when it's organic, right? Because we are interested in people. And so when I go get a pedicure and I have a natural connection with someone, it's so easy, right? Or I mean, this happens sometimes. Like I just got my ring resized, my wedding ring, and I immediately like fell in love with the girl helping me, and it's organic. But the days that it's snowy in Denver, I'm working from home, like, okay, 15 people on Instagram, here we go. It is a little bit awkward, or it is a little bit like monotonous. But when you say, what are my other choices? You know, and I think that that is what allows you to go live in Bali. That allows you to be from Colorado to Texas to California and doing all the things that you're doing, and to just have vulnerability and transparency when you're talking to other people and to find out what they want. So I just really want to applaud you that you have done a lot of the personal growth. And like you said, even where you are right now, you're probably an 8 or a 9. You're not a 10. And you said there's always room to improve. The fact that you know that you can still be growing, right? That there is like no lid on personal growth. There is no lid on the income you can make, the person you can become. It's just incredible. So I had the slide from Super Saturday. So I sent the script into a thread that has Jess in it and Erica in it and Holly and me, so that they have those beauty kind of reach outs, you know. But from the bottom of my heart, thank you for investing some time, you guys. She has a team call at the same time, and she is just showing up here. She's not financially linked to any of us to serve with your greatness and your goodness, and it's a treat. So Jess, I know I saw you wanted to say something.
I want to be financially linked to Sydney Lich. I want to enroll 1 million people like her. And I have truly watched your growth. I was with you backstage at, I don't know how many events. I trained on Kathy's panel with you. And I have watched you go from amazing to exceptional and extraordinary. And I'm so proud of you. And you always are giving back to people. You're always adding value. But I want to just encourage, based on what you described here, and I was just listening to what you were saying and just thinking that you do this with such effortlessness. And honestly, this is just how you show up. This is truly just how all of us can show up in the world. But I want to encourage you really quickly. So you look at our team and you look at, there's some amazing, fast-growing leaders. I met Ashley DeChico getting a pedicure. She's a 5-star in this company. She's the number 99 income earner in the globe, and she's one of the fastest growing team members. Erica Rothenberger met me on Facebook. With Erica Rothenberger, we met Holly in an airport at baggage claim. I met Stephanie Pascavage in a library at Storytime. I met Kim Malmstrom because of a connection that a company, she runs a nonprofit, and I was with a company that was donating to her nonprofit. And I met her at her house, dropping off a check. And then we connected, did exactly what you said. Said, this isn't hard. I said, Kim, let's connect on social media. Let's connect on Facebook. I want to stay in touch with you and hear how your charity's doing. I mean, I'm just literally looking across at some of these names that are on this team call that are some of the fastest growing business in all of Isagenix. And I want to just say, guys, they came into our lives not because I knew them. And I always ask people, if you knew me well enough to text me 8 years ago, comment on my posts, right? I've done that in our groups because most people, if you're in this business and you're like, yeah, I've been in witness protection for years, I don't know anyone. I've never built a social media network. I'm not sure I'm a great connector. What Sydney said in the beginning, it's not who you know right now, it's who you'll meet. And Sydney, you're an amazing, amazing example. I've never been with you at an event, at a trip where you're not collecting friends. And that's all this is, adding value and connecting friends. And you're in a business, guys, where whether someone ever comes into your business or not, you can add amazing value to their life and it will bless you 10 times back. And Sydney, knowing you has blessed me 10 times, tenfold, continues to explode. I'm so proud of you. I want to talk to every 20-something-year-old and just say, are you like Sydney Lich? Do you want freedom to fly every 3 days? Do you want to look this amazing? You've never looked better, never looked better. I'm so proud of you. And guys, we can all be our version of what Sydney's come. And that just means a growth journey. Every day is a new opportunity. And I am so fired up. The last thing I will tell you is we were at the mastermind, and Sid, I missed you there, but they talked about how in Isagenix, and some people on my team know about this, that Ann, Holly, Lauren, Erica, you guys were there to hear them talk about it. Traditionally in network marketing companies, you see what's called a camel hump, right? You see this big growth and then Q4 dips. And I'm going to encourage dreamers as well as Team Win that my question for the company was, why do we accept that? Why do we accept? When I first worked with Lauren, when we literally came in this company, both of us started in Q4, Lauren enrolled 42 people in December. I enrolled 36 and looked at her and was like, I'm slow. You know why? Because we had no barometer to tell us that December was supposed to be a slower month. It wasn't slower because we never heard that story. We never heard that rumor. And when Travis Garza, I remember the head of our global sales, asked her, how did you do it? She said, nobody told me I couldn't. And so I'm here to tell you that if it was possible for Lauren and for me in 2013, when all we had was some Facebook posts, if it's possible for us to go that hard, I promise you, you can double that. You can do more than we ever did with the tools at your disposal, with this little bottle of magic, all the things that are coming, Mocha dropping tomorrow at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, this amazing seasonal bundle. Honestly, if it's to be, it's up to each of you. but I know this. I know that Q4 is going to be so hot and so unbelievable. It's going to make our Q1 jealous. That's what I'm going to tell you right now. Q4 is going to be the hottest quarter that we've ever seen. And if the rest of the company wants to look at the camel hump and they want to accept that that is truth, that's totally fine. We refuse to accept that story because we already know it's not even true. It's insanely false, actually. It's only true if you make it true. I plan to work with each of you and be partnered to say, we're going to go to Mexico together, flamingo floaties for all of you. And we are going to make this a quarter that people look and they go, Dreamers and Team Win, what the heck? That story doesn't even exist anymore. Lauren, thank you so much. And thank you, Sydney. Truly a dream.
You guys are amazing. Have a good night.
Guys, thank you so much.
Flamingo floaties. I'm a fan.
Thanks, Sid.
Bye, guys.
I said.
Thank you.